This is the office. It's up to one floor up. And this is where we have some things on display, but mostly this is the upholstery room.
Yep.
And we have out here, we also have more products
Your showroom.
on display, right? Our showroom. Until last week, we had 50 chairs here. They went down to Suleimania, Iraq.
Yeah.
That was good to get them finally moving.
That's Iraq's a good market for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a interesting guy, Iraqi Kurdish guy, and he's a W amputee, and he's doing a lot of work there with the disabled kids. This is our Rough Rider, which you've seen before. And of course, this is recognized. This would be Salam's chair, the Easy Rider.
1 second.
And one of Ralph's old chair that we modified.
Yeah, we want to come back and have a brief discussion about the simpler old version.
Right.
Just a second. Okay, got that set.
Shall I go downstairs now to the workshop?
Well, let's wait until don't rush because Ralph's not here.
Right.
I called him 10 minutes ago and he was ready, but
is this black chair Easy Rider, Ken?
This is a Easy Rider here. This behind me, this is also an Easy Rider.
Oh, that one, black one, yeah.
There's the reverse thing.
And this is this red one here is also our first prototype for a basketball chair.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Some other.
Okay.
Some
here comes Edward.
Okay.
So you haven't met Edward yet, or
no,
or Fatuma?
No, only heard about them, and I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Edward owns a welding shop. Yeah, it's Ralph. Second. Hi, Ralph. Yeah, I just sent it this about 30 seconds ago. I just emailed it to you at Warwin.
Hello.
Hello, Edward.
It's Bruce. You know what is happening? I am deep in this up-country area called Chankwanzi here. We are stuck at night here. I don't know whether you can see. I don't know how the video is working. We are in a vehicle. The radiator tubes have burst, and we are stuck. We are moving 10 meters. The engine heats up, and then it shuts down.
You're stuck in your car.
Yeah, we had come for a monitoring visit. I thought by now. Let me see. You see now, that is how we are moving. It cools down, then it starts, and then we move some 20 minutes, it overheats like that. So I've talked to Fatuma, and Fatuma, I've told her that you just sent an email to her Gmail, a link to her Gmail, so she will be participating in the meeting. But me, I'm on the move now, I'm on the road, and we are having this issue with our vehicle here, with the government. We have been visiting some women here.
I would say don't worry about turn off your video, just listen to audio. Are you able to see the screen for us? Are you able to see us?
Yeah, I can.
Boost that one.
What?
Even my video is on, let me see. Even my video is on, but I don't think you can see me. Let me see.
No, I can't. It's a dark black screen.
Ah,
Now I see your face, sorta.
so that is it. I've just put on the lights on the vehicle.
Yeah.
So that is the small issue we are having here. We're adding water on the radiator. It cools down, then we fire.
Yeah.
Buying second-hand Japanese vehicles. That's the problem. Now, this is a Nissan in Uganda. It's heavy.
Here's the guy. Aqui, nobody ver.
Yeah, he's stuck in his car and his car is overheating and not moving more than.
Él es en el carro es quebrado
Okay. And we don't have Fatuma yet.
y Fatuma no está.
Okay, so Edward, we're going to record this, so you'll be able to at least have a better video later.
Okay. Let me get the driver to drive us.
Do what you can. I don't think Fatuma will make it.
Sometime if we can make it bigger to see well about both.
He's on a phone. He's on an iPhone. You see, it says iPhone.
Yes.
And he's on his phone, and Ralph's on his iPhone.
EDI?
Yeah, it's EDI. So, anyways, just we've got Edward stuck in his car and coming and going here, and Ken is patiently waiting for us. So,
and Levin is stuck in Bruce's house.
Yeah. Yep. So we lost Edward, and Fatuma. I'm I sent her the link, but I'm skeptical of her ability to make it work.
She said she might call on a phone.
No, she's only got a phone, or she doesn't trust her computer.
Oh.
That's the problem. So I suggest we will move. Edward looks like it's on and off. We'll just go forward and record it, and then share with Edward and Fatuma. Hopefully, Edward will be able to participate somewhat. But I don't have much hope. So, it's after.
No tiene esperanza por esta conferencia, dice.
No tengo. Okay, so Ken, you want to come back in with your video?
I'm here. My video is on.
Okay. So, and we are recording, and I think we just, let's move forward, and then they'll get to see the video of what you do.
Vamos a hablar solo con el hombre en Turquía.
Because I don't know, Edward is stuck in a car that's overheating and going 20 feet every minute or two. And Fatuma, her computer is not working, so she was trying to use her iPhone for the very first time. So I'm skeptical of her, being able to join us. We'll see. But I just think we go forward. So thanks, Ken, for being available.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well.
And hello, Ralph.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for the message about the improved Zimbabwe wheel. It truly is an improvement, at least for some users, and maybe not for us. But it's great to see that technology becoming popular.
Yeah, I just discovered it this evening.
What are you guys talking about?
The first one I saw was in 1988 in the marketplace in Harare, Zimbabwe, and it was a 14-inch diameter by 3.5-inch wide Zimbabwe wheel.
Right. Just like very, very close to these casters we use on the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised to see it, and I thought this is good evidence here. Anyway,
I wonder what their diameter and width is, and what their weight is. They add little rubber with their ribs, but it also adds to the load bearing capacity and soft sand.
Yeah. It's Bruce. It's Levon. It's a new tire that I saw on a wheelchair this afternoon.
It was
And
wasn't it on a lawnmower, or was that a
No,
wheelchair?
it was a motorized chair, and I just noticed
Okay,
it
good.
I just noticed it on LinkedIn this evening, and so I thought I would pass it on. Anyway,
Okay,
Okay.
what country is it in?
I think it's in Mississippi, USA.
Okay, great, excellent.
Sorry, question. Do you talk about power caster?
No.
Yes,
You mean it's a motor on a caster wheel?
yes, yes.
Okay, we're curious about that.
Yeah, because just months or 2 months ago, I saw somebody is doing very carbon. I think he's making a lightweight wheelchair by carbon, and
Mhm.
he's using a casters similar of Zimbabwe wheel, which is electrical caster.
Uh-huh. I will send you the link, Levon.
Yes,
Also,
please.
Okay, so when you get the wheels, Ken, do you get it with the axle and bearings already installed, or do you put them in?
we put them in. We supply just a tube. Here's a diagram of our wheel.
Del Zimbabwe in Turkey.
If you see the green tube, there's
Yeah.
the diameter and there's the length. We supply that to our vulcanizing company, and they produce the wheel over it. So it comes out just like this. There's a hole in it, but it's got a tube in it.
It has a tube in it, but
Yes,
it comes without the tube. Yes.
no, it comes with the tube. We make
Okay.
it with the tube.
Mm-hmm.
The tube fits very nicely in the mold that they make. And so there's no, and they also actually sandblast the outside of the tube before using it. So there's a good surface on the outside of the tube.
Con tubo. Interesting. I'm trying out a new twist on that. What
Mhm.
size bearing are you using?
We're using a 6,000. This is a 29 outside diameter and 8 millimeter inside.
Oh,
And it's
interesting.
8 millimeter wide.
Not strong enough.
No.
Oh, 8 millimeter. And what's the diameter of the inside?
8. Sorry, not 8. I beg your
8.
pardon. 10.
10. Okay. That's more what I would expect from a 6,000.
Yeah.
I'm trying out, and so do you use a shim inside of the 10 to go to an 8 for your bolt, or
No, we use a bicycle front wheel. Let me show you that. A front wheel axle.
uh-huh. And that's a 9.5, or is it an
Exactly.
8?
Yeah. 9.5 or 7 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a shoulder here on both sides.
Okay, de bicicleta.
The very typical bolt. It's a very sturdy one.
I'm
Of
sure.
course, it has because very fine threads here, but we get it with the hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and including the clip. You can see it there,
Yeah.
and the locking nut, and then the outside nut. We sometimes have to use maybe another washer to make sure the distance is right. We don't always get the same total length, but the middle part, which is where the bearing sits, is the same always. It's 63.5.
63.5 millimeter long. And the diameter of the millimeter of
This
the
part is I don't remember. I'll look at it right now. But
Probably
the bearing,
12.
12
it
probably.
looks like, yeah, probably, yeah. And so the bearing can sit on there,
Mhm.
and the bearing goes inside a a cone, a typical cone you would have for loose bearings, and then that goes in. So that goes in here. We have to press it in,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have of course then we have to put the shaft in, and everything fits in pretty well. There's a little bit of play inside. You might see here. It depends on how far the bearing fits in this cup,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a little
Interesting.
bit of play there. This one theoretically about 1.3 millimeter on either side, but it depends on how far the bearing actually sits in these cups. These
Mm-hmm.
cups are pretty standard, but we've never had any trouble with this, so we keep it up. I
That's
think if
great.
it took another millimeter off of each side, I think there wouldn't be any play, but we have no binding now anyway. There's no stress on the bearing, so it doesn't move left or right. So this is the bearing
Mm-hmm.
dimensions. This is how it sits in
26, not 29.
yeah. The inner did I say 29? Yeah, that's what I meant. It says 29 here. That can't be right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're right. There it is 26.
Yep.
I drew that wrong. Oh, that's not this picture is not the bearing. This is the cup itself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the shaft goes all the way through the cup. There's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
The cup is not sitting anywhere. It's just floating until it sits inside the tube there.
Okay, I would love a copy of that drawing you had with all the measurements.
You're welcome. I shall.
Do you know
This is the cup.
Do you know what the weight is? Either of the
Um,
inside parts or the outside parts or
yeah,
the
yeah,
total?
yeah. Let me tell you, I have it somewhere here. This was with our tube in it and with the rubber. It's almost 11 centimeters wide.
11 centimeters. Okay, yeah. That's
eh,
wider than we make. We make for our big ones, we do 80 wide.
Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. This part is 80.
Okay, okay, that's
This,
same as ours then. Yep, and
yeah,
our smaller one that's about a 10 diameter rubber tire is a 6 wide.
right. I have a sample of that. No, the diameter is almost 11. I can't
Mm-hmm.
do it quite here.
Yeah, yeah.
So this with the tube, this is a half a kilo, 500 grams,
Mm-hmm.
and with the hardware is another 200 grams, including the bearings and everything. So the total is 700 grams per wheel.
700 gramos por radar.
What's that in weight?
Okay.
Pounds,
700 grams.
100 grams. So Ken, where do you get your bicycle hubs and bearings? Where do you get that locally from? Here comes Fatuma.
I get them in locally because a few people in the country have the importing can import without high taxes. They have the license, so I can get I guess several hundred of these shafts at a time.
So,
Do you want a break?
no,
No, just hold for a second. Fatuma's joining.
Okay.
1.5 pounds.
Okay.
Vacuum.
So the 700 grams becomes 1.5 pounds when a completed wheel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Fatuma. Can you hear us?
Fatuma está. ¿Quién sabe?
Yeah, that's Fatuma.
Hola, Fatuma.
You need to unmute your microphone. Turn on your microphone.
Enciende su micrófono, dice Bruce. Ayan na po, hecho.
Oh God, the lights.
Por teléfono barato.
Okay. Oh, geez. No electricity.
Oh,
No hay luz.
There we go.
Vive.
Okay. Can
Hello,
you get me
Fatuma.
now?
Yes, I hear
Hello.
you now.
Okay. Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
Hola.
Hello.
Fatuma.
Yeah.
So Ralph and his wife Thelma are here on the iPhone,
Wow. Wow. I'm
and
glad to meet them. I'm glad to meet the wife.
and
I don't see them.
there's no picture of them.
Oh,
He's
I don't know why not.
no, you have to turn on your video.
Yeah, right. Who knows?
And then wait a minute, let me introduce you to Ken in Turkey. He's you want to show your face, Ken?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't turn it around, so I'll do it this way.
Yeah, like that.
Hello, Fatuma. Hanum.
Hello, Ken. Thank
Oh,
you for the
oh,
wheelchair.
how is it? How are you? And how is the chair?
The chair is fine. I am fine too.
And the writer is good. That's good. That's more important.
Yeah, the riding is good. And there is something I'm missing in this wheelchair. There's something I'm missing. I don't know. Did you put some bucket there? I feel like I'm shaking. What's up?
Bucket? No, I don't know what that is.
It's
Oh,
it's like your butt sits down in a bucket, of
Oh
the
yeah.
back is 14 degrees.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
yeah.
know
Yeah.
how it's different. It should be the standard size, but anyway, you can let me know some more details later.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So Fatuma, we're talking about the front Zimbabwe wheel right now. You see in the video.
Yeah,
Okay, and he just explained that the weight of the wheel and the bicycle axle when it's put in with the bearings, the total weight of the wheel with the axle is 700 grams.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think the weight is not too much. It's okay, I think.
Dice, un email later está bien.
It's acceptable.
So,
We always like things lighter.
so,
Yes, Ralph.
so Fatuma, can you see Lai's the wife now?
Yes, I can.
Hola.
Hello.
Okay. So so I'm experimenting with a new way to make the wheel a little lighter and cheaper. I don't have a metal tube. I just have I cut a shape the inside of the wheel so that the bearing fits tight in it and hits against a rubber stop. So and I'm using the same size bearing I use on the rear wheels and on the caster swivels. And so it's 12 by 32 bearing, which is much tougher than the smaller bearings. And
Yeah.
that's an important place to use the biggest bearing because it gets the most dirt the most dirt of all the bearings on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so far that seems to be working, but we'll see how it works with time. But then
Okay.
I only need one spare bearing size for the whole chair. All 12 bearings are the same size. So
Yeah, because now there are different sizes, right?
yep, and two different sizes usually, and it's and it makes it a little lighter and a little cheaper to have spares ready.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that's one um that's one option, Ken, that that we're trying, and it'll come out more like, well, we'll see, 500 or 600 milligrams.
Okay. Like 100 or 200 lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't waited and compared it to the 700 of Ken's, but
Mm.
So,
it's all interesting.
okay, so Ken, you have a lot of these wheels completed with the axles already in them and the bearings, correct? That you're muted, Ken.
Now that's probably because I turned on, because
No,
I allowed you to record me, and that turned on my video.
Oh, good.
Am I good now, Bruce?
Yes, I hear you. Need your
Okay.
video again.
Okay. Oh, I have to put the video on again. How did that get off? Okay. Yeah, my video is stopped.
Well, try again. Now you're muted. Your voice is lost again. There you go. Got it.
Okay. I have both, Bruce. I have both mounted and unmounted. I can walk downstairs to the workshop, and then you can see what I have.
Okay.
And also, we could also go into the basement.
So Fatuma, while he's walking downstairs,
Mhm.
my memory of Edward's comments was he wants the wheels without the axles so that he can put the axles and bearings in Kampala, correct?
Yeah.
Because he needs to show the government that he's constructing with local materials as much as possible.
Yeah. That's the point now.
Yeah, that's important.
In fact, if you could find those axles there, you don't even need to buy them from me. You could just buy them there. They're pretty standard front bicycle axles.
I haven't seen those with the step in the middle. That's interesting.
No, they're all Chinese, so they ought to be available somewhere.
Certainly should be. Yep. The ones I have just have an unthreaded part in the middle, but it doesn't go up to 12. But very convenient that it does go up to 12. You have a bearing stop automatically.
But I'm going to go down to the basement first, where we have storage, and we
Taller
developed.
para mostrar algo de reditas.
Okay, so Fatuma, we love looking at you, but I think you got someone in your family helping you with the light. It isn't necessary for you to have the light on it if you.
It's 9 o'clock here.
Yeah. We have
can't
light
even-
off today. It's dark, so we thought maybe it would be necessary. But if that's the case,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, don't struggle. As long as you can hear and see us.
Dice Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ken, you're back.
Podía ver con la luz al frente de cara.
He goes to workshop.
Yeah. Okay, he's going.
Ella tenía hasta ahorita 4 esposos.
No, he
Y
lost
6 niños,
connection.
pero los esposos todos
Give him time.
Rap speak Spanish.
See, I'm translating for Telma.
So you speak Spanish.
Yeah, she taught me. It took her 40 years to teach me.
But at least you can speak it now, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
The time was not wasted.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, she taught me. Yeah.
Okay, you back, Ken?
Enseñado a mí, pero necesitaba 40 años.
Yes, I'm back. I'm going to try to reverse my camera again, and I might lose
Ahorita.
the audio, but let me work on.
Okay.
Yeah,
We lost your voice again.
he's muted.
I know. He'll find. There you
Yes, I realize it was muted, but I have to mute it while I'm changing the direction of the camera. Forget it. I will just no. There's me again.
You're good.
I'm trying to be a star here. Okay, here's the camera.
Okay.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fine.
Okay, here we are. Here's our storage and where we put stock. Here's
But that's what they
there's
see.
about
Espaldas aparecem. Crucetas or
this is
Side frames.
ready built cross brace
yeah, cruceta, they say.
and
Look up.
when we have a
How clean
bulk
that
order,
is.
we assemble it here
Mm-hmm.
and we test it before packaging. Here's lots of wheels. Some of them have casters. Some of them have parts in them. Some of them don't. I don't know how many. There's several hundred here, so
Okay. So I didn't.
they can be removed as well.
So I don't think you put a
And we have
price.
Tres pisos. Lift.
So what is your price for the without the axle, just the rubber and the tube that's in the center?
just $5 for that. With the axle, then it's $2 more, $7.
Okay.
Hold the whole wheel, $7. Of course, then of course there's the fork, and it's built. Our fork is made for these wheels. So, but I can give you the dimensions of our fork, the drawings of our forks, so you can make sure you have the same size forks.
Do you know the weight of it without the bicycle parts?
Yeah, just the rubber and the tube.
500.
Yes.
500 grams.
Yes.
Okay, good. And do you know the wall thickness of the tube?
Yes, it's 1.5 mil.
Okay, good. I can calculate its weight.
You can calculate the weight of the rubber. It's not that. I'm going up to the ground floor.
Okay.
Is there anything you would like to see here?
The next thing was your jigs.
Okay. Yeah, I set those out for you so that you can see them. This space here, by the way, is about 170 square meters. So what's that? 1,800 feet, maybe, square feet.
Got a lot of space.
Yeah, he has I think
Building,
he's
multiple
building it
layers.
like 3 or 4 stories building.
Here's
Mm-hmm.
here's a Rough Rider
Side
right and left jigs.
Can you show close up as well?
Aluminium.
Yes, I can. This is a 20 mil, not even 20. So this is 15. This is aluminum, and we have it water cut here. Here's a sample of an old one.
He's cutting metal.
He's on
Yeah.
molde.
And what's
This is the same thing, but it's an older version. We took all the tooling off, the other tooling off. After several thousand chairs, it lost some of its flatness, so we replaced it.
Ken, I have a question. How fast it lost the flatness? How fast?
Oh, I don't know when it happened, but it was several thousand, at least 2,000, maybe 3,000.
Okay.
Because there's heat, of course, and so it wasn't badly, but it was just we didn't want it to continue. Sorry, Ralph.
I'm just translating for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this latest version of your jig for side frame.
Uh-huh.
Was made by industrial students from Germany.
Ande.
No, they were from actually from a industrial engineering professor from St. Croix in Wisconsin.
Oh, really? American. Okay.
Yeah, he
Ah,
brought his he had taught here before at the technical university, and so this one time he brought his students,
de Wisconsin. Y ha visitado allá, construido esta.
and we had gave him the basic drawings that we had from you, Ralph, and from Matt at Cambridge, and they developed the the layout, which is what we can see on these pictures here. I mean, in this old version here, this old piece.
It's,
El ingeniero a lo mejor era conocido.
so Ralph or Levon or Ken, I need a technical answer to my question, which is, you see that old jig, which is no longer flat?
Mhm.
Is there
Mhm.
is it a value in terms of the positioning and as to be able to copy that in Uganda and how the position is? In other words, could that be useful or not? Not to use it, but to use it as a template, as something to make
Sure.
your copy from.
Sure, of course. We we did steal some of the aluminum plate there. You can see there's a cutout there, which doesn't exist here. But I do have the PDF drawings,
Okay.
Porque
which
Uganda habla inglés.
What is
Lanzado
um,
por Inglaterra.
so did I mean I need an engineer person to tell me, is it useful to
Pues, aprende inglés.
get the old fixture plate and have them copy it in Uganda?
Yes, it's possible to use.
Okay. How much does one of those plates weigh?
oh, this one I can lift it. I imagine it's 40
40
kilos maybe.
I mean, 40 kilos.
Oh,
And this cutout here is not really critical either. It's not a critical place.
exactly 100 pounds.
Yeah, I mean that's 100 pounds. That isn't going to go by airplane.
No.
No.
And the cutout place is not important,
Avioneta.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
The
I'm not worried about the cutout places, but I think it could come with the wheels, and I think that would be useful. If
possible.
and do you need to sell it or do you want to give it away? Or are you going to trash it? What are you going to do?
It's just valuable as old aluminum. It's not used for anything else. And we use, as you see, we cut out for when we needed a slab of aluminum, we just cut it out.
Pieces from
Yeah,
G.
but it's got the positioning on it,
Yes, but
This is
no, which parts is cut out.
Yeah, but we got the drawings. You can add that
Drawing
back
is
in.
good. Yeah.
yeah. It's just this upper part for the link for the different size backrests. That's all the part that's cut out.
How do you make those I don't know what to call them, that like locks in the tubing
You make them with dollars.
Yeah. These are commercial clamps. They have them in Turkey. They have them in
Okay.
a lot of countries.
All right. So
These are
Dolores.
okay.
they're
Lo mismo, son de China.
so this,
Can I see other side of jig? I
Yeah.
want to see openings.
Bruce
There
quiere-
is for
quiere-
openings for welding.
Quiere ver otro lado del dado.
Okay.
Es otro lado.
Close up.
Este tubo es para
Okay.
café, para soldadora.
this
Okay.
is for the axle mount in the
Yes.
back.
El
Yes.
hueco es para soldar.
This is for the front caster,
Uh-huh.
Y
and this is for the tubes for the cross brace.
Yes.
Aquí es para el
Okay.
montaje de cruceta.
Nice.
They were also designed by the engineering students. They had a lot of fun.
Diseñado por estudiantes de ingeniero que han ayudado al profesor que ha visitado.
Mm-hmm.
Real world experience.
Yeah.
Orange, right?
So this is the frame.
Candle.
So Fatuma, what do you have questions?
Yeah, I was looking at the aluminium and I was thinking, this aluminium may be very expensive for us here. I don't know.
Aluminium
Is there any other way we can improvise? Like when we were producing, we use wood. When it comes for welding, then we try to make the jig with the iron, just the angle bars. We put angle bars and then we fix the tubes there and we weld. But for bending, we used to use wood.
Bending wood is okay, but for welding, no.
Yes, for bending, it could do.
For bending, that's okay, yes.
Doblan otros tubos con madera también, como esta.
And when it comes to welding, then we make a frame with the angle bars. Then we can fix the parts and we weld.
You can bend on the wood parts which is for side frame, but I doubt that you can bend the parts like fork, which has a small radius for bending. Use a wood to bend a fork.
No, that one can't work.
Okay, so what did you use the Hausfeld bender, or what kind of bender do you use for your fork?
Now for the forks, we now, yes, we bend this on the Hausfeld, and then we have a hydraulic press to cut the holes, these slots, and to make it flat.
Ken, let me ask you one question. Do you still have a vertical bender? I remember once you have a vertical bender.
Yeah, there were two. This one
Oh,
here.
yeah, good. I like that one.
This one here too.
That's the bender that had a mandrel inside the tube. Is that true?
True, that's true. This is the mandrel right here.
Close-ups are good. Yeah.
It's a good idea. Very that one and another.
Where did you get those from? Those benders?
We were sitting in a cafe in Istanbul, and the guy overheard us, and he said, "I can make one for you." So we made him. We had him made right in Istanbul. They're simple.
Yeah.
They know how to make them everywhere, I think.
What did it cost?
Too long ago. Let's say $100. Let's say. I don't know.
All right.
And
Fatuma, are you?
Can I see that? I wanted to see the vertical one. Well, I can't see from here.
That right there.
Yeah, so body solid dentro tubo.
I can't see it.
How do you want to see it?
I can't see it from my place, from my angle here. I don't see it.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, here
that's
I
one.
can see now. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and another one here.
You are using these benders for fork and push handles for backrest, right?
For backrest, push handles, but for the fork, we use the Hausfeld.
Okay.
Kia usan esta. So, Fatuma, what kind of bender were you using for your fork?
We were also using wood. We had made it, and then we could, because we used to put it in a way. How do I explain? We used angle bars. We round like that. We put it on the wood, and then we turned the tube on it.
Your bars were round. Did you use a solid bar inside your tube while you drew it?
Yeah.
Fatuma,
Oh, I don't understand.
questo varía sólido dentro
Dig it, Ralph, to
del
explain
tubo también,
He seems to understand.
pero el doblador afectó la madera.
Okay, so
Very interesting. So Fatuma, you had a higher technology of bending than we do.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Technology here,
So Fatuma, is
Yeah.
there someone who can make like these, like the vertical bender or any of these benders and by
Yeah, we
metal,
could go to.
not by wood?
We can get one in town. I think we can get one. There is our local mechanics in Kampala who make anything you show them. So long as you give them the accurate measurements, they can do it.
Measurements, yeah.
Kampala, Uganda.
Okay.
Capital donde vive.
So let me go back to the issue of the jigs, the side frame jig that we saw, which was made with aluminum, and can you, if it is in Kampala, you can make it could you make it out of steel and not aluminum, because steel is easy and doesn't matter the weight, it stays in the shop.
Well, it does matter the weight, it depends. If one person can't lift it, then you need two, and if two can't lift it, you need three. But
we have a solution. This
yes.
is our solution.
There you go.
It is rotatable. You can rotate any direction, Ralph. That one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You can roll. You can for welder. Even wheelchair user can use this jig to weld. It is easy.
Pesados. Sean libres.
Exactly. I can't do it now. I don't have a free hand, but this rotates.
It's okay.
That's a rotate, así or así.
You can rotate.
Yeah, we understand.
Okay, so
the
that's
front-
the nicest way. That's the nicest way to handle your molds, whatever you call them, easily. We made our molds, our fixtures out of square steel tubing. A little problem keeping them real flat, and then we mounted the clamps on top of that. But you all have seen the square steel tubing frames.
Right.
They're a little complicated, and they have to be made just right so you can mount your clamps in the right place. It's much easier to do it with a flat plate, where you can just put them where you need them, and then cut holes in it later for access to welding.
Right.
So that
they looked complicated. I didn't use those.
Yeah. So
You're right.
and you buy your clamps made in Turkey, imported?
Both. We've used both imported ones many years ago as well as local ones. No, they have them everywhere now.
Okay.
They're very common.
Sargentos son en todas partes ahorita para comprar cualquier importado o localmente, hecho localmente.
Questions, Fatuma?
Yes.
No, do you have question?
Yeah. Is Ken going to give us those jigs and then we make ours out of it, or is he going to send for us like the drawings and we make them?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes. He can send you the drawings with the measurements for the jigs and where things go. There is a question mark of whether it is. No one has decided if the old flat plate jig that is not flat anymore, whether that would be useful for you to copy off of or not, because of the positioning of the.
It would be useful for us to copy from. Yeah.
I tend to think everything is better to have in your hands, and if we're going to send wheels, why not send the flat plate of the old jig?
Okay.
And maybe the local mechanic could make it flat again. Who knows?
Yeah.
With a big enough hammer and a lot of patience.
A lot of work.
a lot of work, but it's option. You have options then.
Mhm.
We are really worried about how you're going to make your jigs because we don't have them to just give to you.
Aluminium viejo
Mm.
el mecánico va
And this is
aluminium.
this is a good route. This is a good method for making your jigs.
Mm.
How else could we do it? How could they be done a little lighter? And what's the best way to make that pivoting frame? Let's look again at the swiveling frame. There it is on the floor.
One of the
Yes.
one of the thing I was thinking was what I see on the aluminum plates. You can cut out more places to make it lighter for shipping, and then when it arrives in Kampala or Uganda, sorry, then you can add more square pipes to reinforce and make it stronger.
Okay.
Yes.
Matter with shit going by ship.
Dice eleven.
So the weight is.
Porta mucho lo más de aluminio
They'll
pone en
send it by ship.
Oh,
Cuando
and
llega
by
la
ship you don't care
No,
about
I
that.
don't care.
cosa,
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
no.
did not.
But it's a good idea. But
pone tubo cuadrado atrás para reforzar.
okay.
So Levon, that's an interesting way to go at making
Lighter.
yeah, making a mold with a steel frame backup foundation, and then a flat plate, but a minimum of flat plate. What are other materials more fireproof than plywood?
Yeah.
That could be put on top of the metal plate to make a. And another question on the pivoting frame. Here we see the base of the frame again, and it has two arms coming up, four wheels, and now we could see there's the end of the pivot. Now it'll pivot on one axis, and that one axis is the only
Pivot.
but that's good enough because you can turn it around on the floor.
Yeah, but you have to have a locking mechanism. You choose your location of jig, and then you have to lock. It does not escape from your position. Yeah.
So it doesn't move by itself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not free. So
That's very easy to put a lock.
Ken, did you make that bottom frame with the wheels?
Yeah. It's simple.
Yeah. Okay.
That's very.
Yes.
And of course, with that kind of frame, you need a pretty flat floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a flat floor.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of Nicaragua doesn't have flat floors, so we think.
Well, you've been in Edward's shop, Fatuma? I've only seen it by video. Is it flat? Have a flat floors? Those small offices space?
The office space, even I haven't seen it.
You know, he hadn't organized yet. He
hasn't organized. I had asked him to allow me be there so that when we are making it, I should be there so we don't do it. Maybe it does if it goes wrong and then we do it again to disturb us. Huh?
Yeah. I'm kind of just joking about the flat floor. If it's not quite flat, you can use Zimbabwe wheels on your frame, and it'll flex a little bit, and that's enough.
Or bigger diameter casters, sure.
Yeah. Or larger wheels. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is our jig for our cross brace. Let me give you a sample.
Aquí la cruceta dice él.
Okay, there's the cross brace.
Yeah.
And the welding mold for that?
Your
this is the welding mold.
Your fingers, Ken, your fingers in the view. Okay.
Aquí el molde para cruceta. Aluminio abajo.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the smaller tube, the shorter tube that connects to the frame, goes over this bar. This is the heavy bar, and we position it with these clamps,
El tubito
There's-
abajo. Ahí.
and the
Cross
holes
space, yeah.
and the cross sprays line up here. So we're
Aquí
in the
el
right position.
cruceta, aquí un perno ante el hueco para el sitio correcto.
And Ken, do you have the same aluminum flat frame, old one
Yes,
for this?
same idea.
Okay.
No, we don't have an old one for this one,
Okay.
but it's the same idea. And we've the other end has two clamps also,
Juntos.
and
Ana zilipata mungana.
sometimes, of course, you have some deformation that takes place because of the heat.
El tubo
Wow.
dobla por el
Mhm.
calentura de soldar.
So we pre-load it by adjusting this tube so it's not completely 90 degrees. So it's more like a half moon.
Ah, tiene un prensa empujando aquí para doblar el tubo de silla un poquito. Si aquí se la cruceta aquí, el tubo de silla dobla un poco allá antes que soldar cuando sale plano en recto.
So
Nice.
when we weld it,
Aquí
both sides will pull a little bit towards the center,
empuja
and
allá.
so we can have it flat, so that it comes out flat in the end.
That's very nice, and that, of course, also speaks to how strong your mold needs to be, your form needs to be.
Exactly.
It has to be stronger than the seat tube, so
Right.
that the mold doesn't flex when you tighten that cross handle.
Right. So we have, and this one here is for aligning the holes. We already prepared the holes, and these are
Hemos
rivets.
hecho huecos primero, solo 4 usan.
These are threaded rivets. So we place them in there, we spot weld them, and we use this to align it to the right angle.
Niveles roscado adentro que ponen los huecos y tocado con soldar.
And then we clamp it down, and we've adjusted the tension. And then we test it every once in a while, but we don't change that a lot. We know the result will be a straight tube, not deformed by the heat.
Un poco con esta.
Because there's a lot of heat going on here.
Hay mucha calentura con el soldado.
You see, we don't use the 8mm bar, but we use these angles.
Cada rato.
Square tube.
So,
And same thing here too.
So how are you adjusting for the 4 or 5 different seat widths on the X-Brace?
Okay, well, these pieces for holding the tube.
See? Yeah.
There's the tube being held in place with this. And we have separate holes every, 30 millimeters? Was it 40 millimeters? So we can adjust them. We can make 40 or 50 at a time of one size and then change to another size. So it only changes here. not
Okay,
not at the other
aquí
end.
se cambia solo aquí donde el tubo pequeño.
Can you show middle
Ponen
part of square
la
tube where is
medida
it two holes?
y hacen como 50 crucetas de una
Yes.
medida. Después
Middle part of, yeah.
hay poco tiempo para
You
cambiar.
have, how many holes you have there?
You can see it there.
Para medidas diferentes.
There's 6 holes there.
6 huecos.
I don't think we use them all, but they're all there because you
No
can see they're
usamos todo.
20 millimeters apart.
20 milímetros aparte.
You made that piece?
Yes.
Pulgada y media ante lo vaya medidas de cruceta, que significa como 1 pulgada ante lo vaya medidas de cima.
So this works for all 5 different sizes. We don't make anything bigger than 48 centimeters wide, but for all those sizes, this works.
Más ancha es 48 centímetros ancha que
Just few times we did in Georgia for
19
specific
media
customers.
pulgadas.
We did 20 inch wide rough rider, 2 or 3 times.
20 inch?
Yeah, 20 inch wide seat.
Yeah. We haven't never made a 20 inch yet, but it's possible, but there hasn't been much demand. So we've just 48 is what is that, 17?
Poco más ancha.
18 inches.
18 and a half, something like.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, right. 18 something.
Okay.
So can you also show your racks for where you are putting finished components? You made these racks, correct?
Yes, of course. These so we can put 20 chairs here on this rack at a time.
Hace esta,
40.
Yes, por tiempo en esta. Y mueven con ruedas. Todo allá tiene ruedas.
Yeah.
Yeah, to hang each part.
Yeah, intact. Yeah.
Also on wheels.
Yes.
Ruedas monta él.
Okay.
So that's very simple. And whoever buys your shop, you could just push the fixtures to their shop.
Everything is done here except for the painting and the bending. So it's for us it's better than having them on the floor. It's easier to move them around and in the process of a manufacture.
Que cambia donde están los gavetas grandes. Cararato.
We also attach this
Good.
1/2 mil laser cut to the side guard. We have it cut and then we have it folded over. There's one layer that's been
brazo, cornisa para. And you you cut those holes for being cool and comfortable.
Lightweight.
They're just as a design. I don't know.
I
made the design.
Para diseño.
And so there's no edges that are you can get your finger on when the other tube is around here. These parts are the upper edge is welded onto the frame. And the lower edge is below the cushion.
Hierro, creo, porque es soldado. This is steel plate of 1 millimeter or something.
1/2 mil.
Wow, 1/2 mil.
Deal.
Muy medida de suyo, pero hierro.
Because whole chain.
Es lo mismo de suyo más o menos porque es hierro pero más fino. Very interesting, very nice.
We was doing 0.8 in Georgia.
0.8 en Georgia, the platina de hierro.
We've used also 0.6, but this is fine. It's welded on 5 places, 5, 6 places, so it doesn't move. It's not going to break.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
Ese es Charo
Like that one.
y no dobla el medio milímetro.
There's nothing to move there.
Poquito menos por los
Exactly.
ojos. Es mejor.
And I like design. Looks nice, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Telma asks, would it be good with bolts to hold it to the fender tube and the back tube,
You
or
could.
with sheet metal screws?
You could.
Puede estar, dice él, con tornillos. Sí,
But why
Of
not?
course.
Well,
To make it replaceable, Ralph?
I'm sorry.
To make it easy replace? Or
That's
what?
exactly what Telma said as you were speaking. It's so that she can take it off when it falls off the roof of a bus and gets busted, like all of her plastic hand rims
Yeah.
have been broken.
To do replacement, you don't need a welding. You just unscrew, put it.
Dice Levan, para poner nueva no necesita
nada de-
soldar en este caso con su tornillo. Here's hers. This is her experimental one made out of aluminum. But, can you see that?
not yet.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
You're, can you do it from the side? Tell her turn.
Oh, rotea su silla, por favor, para más luz. Más afuera para que la luz. Okay, here we go. That's good. Now she's by the window.
Okay.
You can see it. Maybe better.
Right.
1, 2,
Right.
3, 4 screws, 4, 5 screws.
1, 2, 3, 4 she has. But that's the minimum. She was trying the minimum first. Maybe even 6 would be good. 4 on the curve and 1 on the corner.
What kind of screws she used? Like, is it bolts or just screws?
¿Qué tipo de tornillo usa usted?
Por el momento anda, ¿cómo le dicen? Solo
Oh, these are these are not what she would recommend. These are pop rivets, which you have to drill out to take it apart. But she would use, pero mejor tornillos de hierro.
Sí.
Okay, better to use sheet metal screws, regular sheet metal screws, like the old Everson Jennings wheelchairs of 1950 used.
Yeah, one way to
3
use
on the
just
back and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 6 screws would be right.
Pero yo creo que mejor en vez de 3 serían mejor más cerca.
Yeah, she's saying 5 would work. 6 would be best.
Mhm.
No, I'm sorry. She was saying 6. That's right. It's when I look at where her fingers were. So 4 on the 4 holding it to the curved fender tube, and then another 2 at the back, in the middle of the fender, and at the bottom. So
It's protected by the wheel. It shouldn't see that much damage.
it shouldn't, but she's still she's in Nicaragua. They have these very high old school buses for all of their inner city transportation.
Yeah.
And wheelchairs go on the roof and they tend to fall off
Uh-huh.
at a speed of say 80 kilometers per hour.
Not so good for the wheelchair.
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, I can show you some of my other tooling here. We
Más herramientas.
we have the cross braces. We have the ends
La cruceta.
and the holes. We have them punched out hydraulic at a hydraulic press.
Mm.
We have the jigs. and then we can come back and test to make sure they are all the right size.
So what are, oh, these are the cross braces, yeah. So,
Right.
so you use a punch to do the 2 holes at the middle.
And the ends, yes.
Eso hueco también.
So it makes them always the same, always
Un
uniform.
ponchón, pum, pum, pum.
It's interesting.
But we can
Pues,
still,
como
but
rápido
we
que
still
sea.
have a testing at the end here to make sure that, because this would really offset the
Pero hay también
the geometry.
después de
So it's
cortar, hay un molde que siente si sus huecos son en posición correcta o no. Very nice, very nice. So your punch, can we see the punch?
Yes, I want to see a tip, which is making hole.
It's dark outside now, so I don't know if we can see very much of it.
No puede ver muy bien porque noche allá.
Y también la cámara es pequeñita.
Sí. Allá. Afuera, sin luz.
Let me turn on my lights.
Él va a encender una luz.
I'm not going to get any light. Well, you can see this is the hole there for the.
Aquí es un hueco para.
And I'm really interested in the round punch, which is making a hole. Is it a round bar or is it like pipe, which is sharpened by angle, or
like
how?
This?
Oh, just round bar.
Yeah, very, very hard.
Okay, during the punch, when you put a square pipe in the jig, are you putting another square thing inside of square pipe or not?
No.
No. Okay.
So there is a little bit of compression, but not a lot. It's 2 millimeter wall. It's very thick. I think. Let me look here. No, there's nothing here. There is something, not complete, not the whole distance, but there is some support inside. There is a bar inside, but not a lot. Not ever. So there's very little compression here.
Adentro, pensando de afuera.
And where is a hole made by punch? Probably square pipe is bent inside a little bit, yes or not?
Yes.
Yes.
I cannot.
Yeah, I can say this.
Cuadrado de cruceta cuando hacen el punch, pero no hay problema, dice.
Yes, there's a little bit of metal inside.
Yes. Could you show that once again? Show the end
Yes.
of that once again, please.
Closer.
Higher, center. I'm sorry, no more there. Okay. And the angle cuts alongside the center hole, that your punch includes that whole shape, right?
Yes, we don't need this extra slot there anymore because we don't use the 8 millimeter bar, as I was explaining. So we can use the other end. It's just a regular.
So this is what you make now. And you found you didn't need the 8 millimeter bar because with 2 millimeter X-brace tubing, it was strong enough, right?
Exactly. And we wanted to make sure by adding those pieces of triangle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have a reinforcement. You're doing it with a triangle.
He is using triangles, yes.
Aquí reinforzado con triángulo.
5 millimeters, sometimes even 3
5
millimeters, but
3 millimeters.
and also on this end as well.
And that triangle is also cut with a punch, yes?
No.
No, we sent it to our
Laser.
laser. Yeah,
Oh, cortado con láser por otro taller.
but the shape isn't very important as long as there's a 90-degree angle. So you just
Y la forma no me importa. Cualquier si tiene ángulo de 90.
it could be a square. It could be a square piece. It's just less weight.
But it would weigh more, yep. And it would have a sharp end.
Yeah, of course. Because we have so much laser cutting, we also do our stabilizer bars laser cut.
Cortamos esto, no doblamos. Cortamos de platina grande con láser. High tech.
And then well, it's no longer high tech. They're in every street here. Everybody uses them. And then we can use this jig for welding. We cut off the head and we weld the bolt on. And you can see there's some recessing. There's some recessing in there before the weld. Can you see the recessing?
Yes.
Hueco con
Necessary. Very important thing.
Forma
To make this hole.
punzón. Can we see the punch that cuts the outer curve?
Of this?
Yes.
That's
Oh, these
laser.
are laser cut.
Laser. Okay.
Again.
But Tuma, if you can unmute yourself, do they have laser cutting in Kampala available? You have to open your microphone again. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have laser
Pardon?
cutting? Yeah, I hear you. Do you have laser
We-
cutting?
No, I don't think so.
No creo que.
I saw one in Steve's workshop,
Yo he visto.
but I don't think we have because we haven't yet.
Even.
Maybe water cutting.
Maybe, yeah.
Y
Also,
also
if it exists, Steve's workshop is like a couple hour by car, but it's local. It's at least in the country, so it's possible that they could purchase laser cut pieces from Steve's workshop.
Does Steve has a laser cutter?
Yes.
Wow.
luces o compra cosas cortadas por láser de Esteban. 2 horas por caro.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's available. You know, if you can do water cutting, great. But let's see what they can do.
Vamos a ver.
So I don't. Any other technical questions you want to ask Ken? Because I want to ask him about shipping things to Uganda.
What is this form now? Is this a punch press?
This is
form?
for the
seat.
No, this is for the brake clamp.
For
it's
the
a welding jig
para soldar los pedacitos juntos para
to weld these tubes in at the right angle. So that when we clamp down, they are in the right place.
Very nice, very nice. And we're working on a new brake that'll complicate things more.
Well, a better brake is always welcome.
Queremos mejor freno, dice él. A lot of people, including us, sometimes have trouble reassembling that brake correctly. We put it together wrong, and we have to put it together again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a better brake would be very welcome. Here's the U-bar welding jig.
Mejor freno, por favor, dice él.
Okay.
Telma agrees with a better brake. We need it.
Yes, please. And here's our fork welding jig.
Soldar horquilla.
And footrest also here next.
Yeah, this is for the
Ken, are you using a 0.5 plate for footrest too, or
no 1 mil.
1 millimeter? Okay, good.
1 mil for that.
Por descanso, 1 millimeter como suyo, como mío.
And also folded edge there.
Uh-huh.
Doblado aquí por espalda, por atrás de espalda.
Also laser cut.
Yeah.
Cortado con láser. And those all of those little dots, what are they? Are they holes or are they?
Tack
Holding.
Those are
They're
holes
out.
for welding, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Huecos y tocan para soldar. And those
This
holes
is
are
for
made with a punch or with a drill?
no. Also, laser cutting.
Laser.
The holes are made with a laser.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Los huecos son hechos con láser.
Yeah.
That's good idea to make a holes for tags on the foot plate. That's
Muy
good
bien
idea.
poner huecos antes que soldar, porque puede soldar muy bien.
Easy.
Stronger
Y se
welding
eleva.
Yeah.
because you got the hole.
Fantástico esto.
¿Qué es aluminio?
No, si soldado es hierro.
And this, of course, is the
No
clamp
puede
for the
separarlo
footrest.
un soldado.
And this is for welding the tubes onto it here.
Piénsalo en fábrica especial.
The one that goes here, of course.
I'm sorry, where are we?
This is the clamp for the footrest height adjuster.
Good.
Okay, el sargento para el descansapié este tubo. Sí, okay.
So these are the basic tools. If there's anything else, I couldn't find it, but this is maybe the same thing for the brake arm.
Por el
We use the
freno.
same system. We also cut the brake arms out of with the laser cutting. You've seen those before, I think, Ralph.
Yes. Thelma asks, how much did, for example, Fatuma's chair weigh complete when you sent it?
I think it was 20 or 21 kilos.
21 kilo. 21.
Plus
Como
plus
44 libras, lo mismo. Okay, so
another
that's about the same weight we've had
Yeah.
other places. Maybe it's half a kilo lighter or a kilo lighter than some of the heavier ones.
Yeah, we'd always like it lighter.
Yeah, todos queremos más liviano. Sí, sea.
Como nosotros.
Yeah, like us, says Thelma.
Okay.
Here's the similar ones. These are steel plates. These jigs are for the torbellino.
Es
Can you show the torbellino?
de hierro moldes para la silla antes que esta con rueda grande, con rueda 8 pulgadas. And how thick are these? How thick are these plates, and how flat did they stay?
These are 20 mil completely. So these are very strong. I don't.
20
They're not bending.
2 centimeter grueso or hierro. And how much does one of those weigh? And
I don't want to.
people do you need to lift it?
They do them on the flat here. They don't use the other
Pivote.
racks.
Hacen plano y pesa un montón.
Because then they take them off and then they weld them from the other side after they take them off the rack.
Okay, ponen puntos un lado del chasis, quita el chasis, soldar otro lado del chasis, sin patrón. Okay, got it. Wow, this is a great tour. This is exactly what I was dreaming of.
Okay.
Well, I got the dream from you, Ralph.
Well, whatever.
Okay. Do you want to, Ralph? Do you want to see anything else before we talk about shipping things?
I have last question.
Yes.
You are making holes in the X brace by punch, right?
Yes.
Are you using same method to make holes in the adapter for big wheels,
Usa lo mismo modo de huecos
which has a 5 positions?
para single posición del eje.
Axle
Los huecos.
Aha.
the
This
axle
one.
block.
Yeah.
This one.
Ahí está.
Yes.
No.
No.
These we have have them done at a CNC across the
Oh,
Hecho con
CNC.
taladro.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't. Yeah, that would be not impossible, but more difficult, I think, with the
Más
punch.
difícil
Yes.
hacer
Yes.
con
And that because of that one is very important part too.
Right. Exactly. Right.
un poquito arriba abajo. Así no corre.
Thickness of wall is 3 millimeter probably, or more.
Yes. 3.
3. Yeah.
6 millimeter
Okay,
grueso.
So, all right, Ralph, do you want to be looking at his old Torbolino design that he's still selling?
Yeah. If it's handy,
All right, so
maybe in esta foto.
Ken, where's your Torbolino, chair, one that's done, completed?
Let's upstairs.
Okay.
Go up one floor.
I think we're done downstairs for now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great.
You're welcome. You were the inspiration, Ralph. That was 33 years ago.
That's a risk you took.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's his
23 años antes yo
Torbolino.
inspirado él a hacer todo
Wait a
esto.
minute. See,
Yo dicho es un error suyo. Él dice, sí, todos hacen errores. Error fue comenzando este proyecto loco.
¿De dónde es?
De California del Sur.
Okay, here's your old Torbolino.
Vivido 40 años antes a Turquía.
You want to see it with the back wheel off?
Ya está.
I can't see the frame. Really.
Torbolino?
Yeah. Make this in Mexico now too.
Yes, Ralph has one
for
of them
children,
from Mexico. Yeah.
What do you want to look at on this chair?
It has only one position of back wheel.
No, solo una posición para el eje, dice levanta.
Look at that wheel.
He changed. He do different positions now. Okay.
We have I think about 5 positions here.
5 huecos.
Oh, okay.
No hemos puesto hueco. Él ha mejorado. Cuando ha visto eso, sí ha modificado el principio también.
And the front caster wheel?
These are imported.
Yeah.
No, importado esta rueda.
Yeah, but look at what if you push the wheel so it's like that.
Sí, apenas este modelo es.
You see how close it is to the back wheel?
Thank you, Jason.
Yes, I see. Very close.
Yeah, very close. So Ken, just for conversation, I mean, you see that front caster wheel and how far it is in front of the big back wheel.
Yes.
It's like what, 2 inches space in between?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. So have you had any feedback from people where the front end goes down into the ground? People out in their face?
No.
Suyo sí, pero otros.
The weight, the center of balance is more towards the back, not towards the front. So as you can see, this chair also has a adjustable backrest. It can go back another 30, 40 degrees.
Cambia ángulo. People.
So with this one, we always provide the anti-tip wheels.
Todos tienen esta porque la silla cae atrás tan fácilmente.
We never have any complaint about the front, the flipping to the front. Never.
Nadie cae al frente, dice él. Nadie.
The original,
Están atrás.
this is basically
Cae atrás. Uno
this is basically the original Torbaino.
Mm-hmm.
Aquí es
So
el
there,
now. Allá.
with the lumbar curve there in
Doblado
just
un poco aquí. Para
and there's if you were going fast and you
Lona.
went into a ditch, I'm sure it's possible to flip. But I have never. This one's even no. It's about the same. About 4 centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest injury cause of wheelchair riders in the Western world is falling forward when you hit a little bump.
Right.
And that happened less on the whirlwind than commercial chairs before that, because the whirlwind, its seat was a little lower and there was a little tilt back to the seat, so that moved the center of gravity toward the rear. And
Right.
having the seat lower meant it's less likely to tip in any direction. And so the frequency of falling was less, but I would still fall once or twice a year, usually at night in the rain, hurrying to get out of the rain and hit a crack in the sidewalk, and there it would be with another broken bone.
Yeah.
Since we moved the wheel forward, adding about a third to our track length, I haven't fallen once, even though I ride faster and crazier now than before. So that's the difference. But Telma doesn't have the problem of falling forward on the early whirlwind. She thinks it's perfect. But her legs, being a polio person, her legs don't weigh anything to speak of.
Yeah.
So she's her center of gravity is further to the rear.
Exactly.
Even
Right.
use the same front axle position. So
I think it's a risk. It's a risk even for many people to flip over backwards.
right, exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. The further back your weight is, the more you can tip backwards, and the harder it is to hit curbs. Have to hit the curb faster, and I've fallen backwards. Maybe a maybe a quarter as frequently as falling frontwards, but it depends on which chair I have. And I would love to have back tip wheels that would still allow you to be pulled backwards up a flight of stairs without a lot of complication of swiveling the anti-tip wheel out of the way like yours is. Your anti-tip wheel is here. There you have it up out of the way. Somebody can be pulled up a flight of stairs. Con descansa, con esta ruedita arriba puede jalar arriba de escaleras. I'd love to have a really lightweight, simple way to have either a single or a double and a tip wheel that would somehow allow you to be pulled up and downstairs without having to remember to put the anti-tip wheel back in place. Once I was in the New York subway on early whirlwind with a deployable rear anti-tip wheel, and somebody bounced me down a flight of stairs into the subway system, an accessible subway system of 1990 or so, 88. And I thanked them and gave one push, and bang, my head hit the pavement because I forgot to reach back and swivel the anti-tip wheel into position again. So how can we solve all of those problems at once?
Waiting on your answer.
I don't have an answer. I have maybe 50 sub answers, none of which have solved all the problems at once.
So, all right. Can we, it's been an hour and a half. I don't want to keep Ken up late. It's like 9:30 at night his time now. So Ken, what amount of help can you provide to get things in that can be shipped by a shipping container?
Well,
Ship.
well, shipping containers are easy. If you're just talking about, as you were before, about 200 wheels, for example.
Right now, wait a minute, Ken. Right at the moment, our list, in my list at least, is 200 wheels. Those old aluminum plates that are warped. If you got two of them for the side frames, great. If you got anything more, fine. And then I haven't checked with Ralph yet, but I'm thinking they need another one of your Rough Rider wheelchairs as a model and as a showpiece because they're being asked to show examples of their chair at inside Uganda, at trade shows and that stuff. And we can't. And the only chair that is available is Fatuma. She needs that to live in. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what is your current price for a Rough Rider chair?
Oh, that's actually irrelevant. And because, as I've told you, the prices have become so difficult to do business here, I've nearly doubled my prices.
So tell us the price you sell to us for.
I can't give you that price right now. I'll tell you what my local price is something like $800. Can't even remember right now.
USD. Wow.
No precio
Because
doblado
because the,
en la de
because
6 años.
because they're artificially holding the exchange rate. $760 is the new price. It is ridiculous.
$760.
And I can't, and so that I can't sell them.
Que fue
This is
350.
because there's very few people that can buy at that price.
Very
When it
few.
was
Puede vender si es porque tiene set.
what did you cost the one for you? 350 or 6 or 400? I don't
Yes.
remember anymore.
It was about 350.
Yeah, that's normal.
Para
It
venderlo.
was for a long time.
Cerrando el negocio ahorita.
Anyway, that's not a problem right now.
That's
I would
okay.
like to
Yeah.
I would like to suggest though that just the wheels I did calculations, you can't send them by air. They're too heavy.
No.
You would definitely want to put them in a case, in a crate.
Yes, and the same thing for the aluminum plates, the same thing for your wheelchair. That's our list so far in terms of what would be in a partial container.
Right. A partial, yeah, you're talking about not even a fourth of a 20-foot container, even less.
It's small space, but it's still
Like
you still got to do it.
2 or 3 cubic meters at the most.
Claro, la silla. Hacer una silla más sensible, más fácil que más sencilla.
¿Quisiera?
Pues claro que cierra.
Bien.
Pero más sencilla para que lleve menos.
No tan ajustable.
Como las que hacían anteriormente.
No, era solo en posición para el
Ajá, para que no gastar mucho en hierro aquí y allá.
Sí. Thelma is saying what we need now is a chair that still folds, but like our early chairs, has no axle position adjustability, has less footrest adjustability, and overall is simpler to make. That's one extreme of our assortment of design criteria that we're trying to design to now. Where between the fully adjustable Rough Rider and the more or less fully adjustable and the not adjustable early Whirlwind, we settle on.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You know how to do it. It's just a matter of simplifying those features. You had your earlier Torbellino had a curved foot
Footrest pivot bar.
Yeah, it wasn't even a pivot bar. It was just the front of the chair just folded down, and the footrest was attached to that. There was no bending at
Yeah.
all.
It was very simple. Some people had trouble arranging their angles right to make it. Yeah,
We made
but
something like that.
that was a short wheelbase chair, the old style, which
Yeah.
wasn't so good for climbing curbs or especially wasn't good for coming down curbs. And
Right.
Heuristic way out.
overall, and it was longer with a shorter wheelbase.
Yeah.
And
the
I
wheels.
don't want to go back to that, but
No.
Right.
maybe we can, maybe we can simplify this chair more than it is now. This
Right.
chair
Something more
also
this
is yeah.
something maybe the frame more like a frame the size of the Rough Rider frame.
Except that it has to be longer for
Yeah.
the wheel to be out there.
Yeah. It didn't Mark make one that was longer? He was going to. He said he was going to at one time, a long time ago. A longer adjustable wheelbase. I don't remember.
I don't know.
He was talking about sliding seat years ago. He wanted
Yeah.
to seat slide front and back.
But we gave up.
Okay.
It was
And he would get the adjustable center of gravity that way rather than by moving the axle.
yeah, but it
Right.
was
Potentially, you could have just an adjustable backrest, or you could have a choice of cushions for the backrest, and that would be another way of adjusting the center of gravity without having a complicated frame.
Right. Well, let me give you another whole different angle,
Oh,
which
now
I
it's there.
which I implied in my first email to you. It's become so expensive to keep this shop open.
The tongue cut off.
I cannot afford it.
Pero nada más.
yeah, you can't sell. You can't sell.
El poco de cuenta tengo en el bancario.
Because the prices have to be so high that you can't sell.
Pero
And my
decían no, ahora no puede vender.
my overhead has doubled in the last year and a half in dollars.
The todos cosas son doble en año y media.
Bottle.
The economy is so wonky.
Yeah.
I cannot explain it. It's just really complicated, but it's difficult.
Your price illustrates very well.
Yeah. So I'm anticipating, as I tried to explain, of closing down.
Estoy pensando de cerrar. Adiós.
Do I want to? No, I do not want to.
Quiero? No.
But they've made it impossible to continue because we've sent chairs, as you know, from Haiti to Tajikistan, so many thousands to Iraq and Syria.
Hemos enviado
It's going to be sad, but
Iraq. Lástima.
So, but if I have to close, I don't want to throw things away. I want that tooling to go to someplace, and I want the materials. I have so many materials, work in progress. As you saw, the hundreds of wheels downstairs, hundreds of forks, of frames. I can, and my dream is to continue making the frames for Rough Riders, because I have all the support parts. I have all the cross braces, footrests, casters, front wheels, back wheels, and maybe close down at the end of the year, just so I can make use of the space of the materials which are half done.
Hasta fin de año.
And All right, Ken, do you have I mean, is it firm in your mind you close down by like the end of December?
I wouldn't use the word firm, but it's something I want to. It's become so economically crazy. But if I can sell my inventory, that is finished chairs, and you see I have other chairs downstairs as well. From the imported chairs I have, I can't sell anymore. I would sell several
Yeah.
a month. No, I can't sell any
Yeah.
because of the economy. I want to sell all these, let's say up to 300, 400 chairs I could have ready by the end of the year, mostly Rough Riders.
200.
Sell them discount so that to some NGO that could use them.
Yeah.
Y pueden
And the tooling,
para que
yeah,
usar
is something that the tooling is something that I'm sure that Fatuma could use because they would be ready and she could make more tooling, but she would have the start, you know. But I don't know, that's just an idea. I don't know what your plan is, but that's, you know, I have to sell something because I will have huge debts just to close the business.
Yeah.
But I have to sell somehow to sell, but I don't know how to price anything yet. No way
All right.
at this point.
quiero
So-
vender, pero yo no sé cómo.
So Ken, I mean, the reason I'm asking these questions is it might be useful for the Uganda people to buy some, not maybe all, of your tooling,
No vender su herramienta.
not your machines, but the jigs, your jig frames, and
Right.
maybe all of your jig frames and whatever. That's why if you really are closing your manufacturing component, not the selling, you will continue selling all the chairs you already have made when you can find buyers. But if you stop your manufacturing, then you don't need your jigs.
This is true, but I'm not selling now. Only if I get a bulk order am I selling. I sell 1 or 2 chairs a month or a bulk order. So I have to aim at stopping them all at once.
But we're still not talking clearly to each other.
Right.
Yes, you will make more chairs until the end of the year, maybe.
Right.
You will try and sell these to somebody. Maybe you
Right.
get orders before the end of the year. Maybe you get orders after into next year. But it's when you stop doing the manufacturing that you no longer need your jigs, because that's the most
Right.
valuable thing that they could use.
Absolutely. I understand that. But if I have no capacity to make anything, then I should stop now.
That's for you to decide based upon your money needs.
Right.
You have
Because
you have debts, you have bills, and how you figure that out is, I'm just trying to get a rough idea from you when you might stop your manufacturing.
Right.
It doesn't sound like you will go into next year.
I don't want to because every month is a huge loss.
That's my point. And
But
the sooner you stop, the better for us.
right. But I have so much inventory. I cannot.
I know.
Yes.
I have to keep the business open.
I understand the dilemma of wanting to make more money. I mean,
No,
No,
it's not
create-
making money. It's
well, you
losing
want to
less
make
money.
some money off of what you already
No le
have.
hace publicidad por medio
Yeah.
de las embajadas, los países.
That's all I can hope for. But I know that tooling is valuable. Yeah, we have 2 MIG welding. We have 1 TIG welding machine. I don't know if they use that kind of stuff. I have so much, as you saw, tubes bent already, stuff cut, ready for making cross braces, frames, everything.
Are you so how will you price out, your jigs or your already completed parts that haven't been assembled yet? How can you sell the parts? You can sell a completed wheelchair, but you can't sell the parts.
Right. That's why my plan is to go ahead, continue finishing the frames so that we can have finished chairs, because everything has so many hundreds of other parts ready.
Do you
To have
see anybody in Turkey or anybody that's willing to buy your whole damn business?
in
Shop,
that's the business is a third factor. Yes, I can sell the business as a business, but nobody right now wants to build wheelchairs.
you can't sell them. You can't sell them.
No. They're still trying to keep people alive in Gaza,
Well,
and they're still trying to stop a war in Ukraine.
oh no, there's always a need for wheelchairs. Period. You don't even
Absolutely, but
you don't
the
have to point anywhere. There's always a need.
but the NGOs where are they putting their money now? They're not buying. They're keeping
Well,
people alive
Los,
right now.
things-
los non-profitas, dice
This is-
internacionalmente.
My approach,
contra
my
no
my
son
first thoughts
ellos
about it is you
van para-
assemble as many chairs as you can so that you can sell them to an NGO when they are ready to buy.
Absolutely, my same idea. That's my plan. Get as many as possible done by the end of the year. Sell the batch. Then I don't need sell all of them, even if possible at once. I have so many different kinds of chairs.
Organización
And then I'm ready to close. And then I don't need any more the tooling.
Okay, so at some point as you go through your thinking in your head, it would be helpful for us to know what would be your cost, what would you sell, your tooling, and I mean I'm not sure what all, machines or whatever, but at least the jigs part of it. Your punch, see you're outsourcing your laser cutting, you're outsourcing your I don't know, your hole punches you do there with a hydraulic press.
No, we do that outsourced too.
Outsourced too, fine. So
They're good. They're professionals at it, so that's why I use them.
yeah, why not? So the question you figure out, is what would you sell your tooling for? Is it,
no hacen en el taller.
and
But-
because it would have to be sent again in a container.
El barrio,
You got
Right.
que solo hace eso.
I can see
No le
a
sale
lot.
también dar a hacer esto aquí, pagar parte de esto ya pago.
I could see a 20-foot container containing everything from those vertical benders, Hausfeld, lots of spare parts that I can't use anymore.
Yep.
A 20-foot container easily getting everything there. That even MIG welders, a TIG welder.
So as you do your thinking and make a list of what you have, put a price next to them and send it to us.
I will.
Okay.
I don't expect them to come up with the money from in Uganda, but you guys could find somebody that understands the value in your neighborhood, in your circles.
No, let me give you a reality check. I mean, Whirlwind has its own money, but it doesn't have a lot, so it's like the price, if it's beyond our range for what we can afford, Whirlwind cannot help. And
No, I don't expect Whirlwind at all.
That's not your problem. I just want your prices.
Right. I expect that there's people out there that understand the value and realize, wow, they can get started in Uganda at a fast speed.
But that's its own problem, finding money and getting an agreement for money. He's got Edward, who was at the very beginning of the video.
Right.
Edward has received a grant for $100,000 US, roughly. It's like a little under 100. But he has then made promises to the government for that money that he will start delivering 100 Rough Rider wheelchairs within the first 6 months. I don't believe that's realistic at all. I mean, in terms of going from zero experience, zero tools. He's got tools, he's got machines, he's got some machines, not everything. he needs to buy some more, and that he has a grant for, and he has to buy raw materials. He has
Right.
some money, that can be used to start up his shop. I don't know. I'd have to look again at his budget, to see what he's got. But again, it's what he has plus what Whirlwind can help with, is the bankroll, the money that we would have available. But
Right.
if you're selling all of your tooling and parts and everything for $150,000, we would say good luck. And because we cannot create that kind of money.
Right. I understand that. And I don't expect any miracles here. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it in a way that I can end without a huge amount of debt and pay off my workers. I have to pay the
Yeah,
severance pays.
yeah,
Same problem. We're all dealing with the limited resources.
yeah.
Absolutely. And the timing. If he's got, I mean, it took us a full year to get going. He should be able to go faster than we went, but it took us a full year to get started. I don't know how
I'm
he's going to do it.
I'm skeptical.
Wow.
I'm skeptical. We believe a minimum of a year, and then see where you're at, you know. So, I mean, we know it takes time. He had to promise the moon for the government, and you
Mm.
give him $100,000 US,
Right, right,
and that wasn't realistic, but that's not my problem.
right.
So,
We started with 10.
so we're closer now because he hasn't even received it. We were afraid because this started in January this year. And he has not received the money from the African government, from the Uganda government yet. They were promising maybe this week he'll get it. So it slowed him down, which I'm very happy about because
Hmm.
that might fit now with the timeline that you've got, which
Hmm.
which is the end of the year. Yeah.
6 months.
So maybe we can do something that gets them started with your old jig frame,
Hmm.
and they can start because they got to learn these things as well,
Hmm.
in the doing. And so we could start maybe with your old jig frame, and maybe that works, for the beginning, and then get the full frame, full jig from you later if we can afford it. These
Hmm.
the tooling parts. I think you're gonna have to sell you're gonna have to sell all of your things over there in bits and pieces, I think. I mean, I don't expect anybody to say, I'll take the whole batch. Here's $200,000,
Well, then there's nobody, maybe right.
I mean,
Maybe you can use that. What do you think, Levon? Could they use the same frame for left and right, that one piece?
You know what? There is possibility to use a one metal plate for side frame and
Mhm.
do a left and right from each side.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
That's how our original one was.
Yes, that's possible. But I was doing this, I wanted to do this in Georgia, but then welders start complaining because of one side was done, another side need to be welded. And then he was complaining about, hey, I have to weld this side and you guys work on the other side. It does not match well.
Right, right, right. And they need to cool off before
Yes,
you do. You can't do it fast. You have to let them cool.
yes, yes.
That is a problem.
so
Unless you have some other way to cool them. I don't know.
so Ken, I'm sorry you've got this really complicated problem of how you can get yourself out of the debts that you owe with your equipment and your parts and your chairs. And I mean,
Yeah,
this is its own big problem to figure out.
right. And I can't make my problem your problem. I'm just saying there is a possibility.
That's the way I look at it, which is why I said there is a possibility we can buy things if the price is not too high. And
Right,
you've got
right.
to figure out what is your price.
Right.
And if
And
it
yeah,
then it's like, is it a realistic price? Because you may be sitting there 3 years from now and nobody's bought anything.
no, you can't do that.
Well, that's my
The
point.
right. And if you have any ideas of an NGO that would like to have this stuff at a good price, well,
That's we the only one we know of that's ready to go is Uganda right now.
okay. I was thinking something closer to home here. Yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you for all your time, everybody. It's been a long one. Ralph, thank you again for being there, and good to see you.
Great to see you
What
all.
about motivation, Bruce?
What about him?
Okay, just years ago, it was 2018 or 19.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Motivation wanted to set up Rough Rider production in Ethiopia. And they did send one of the representative from Motivation to Georgia to see what is factory of wheelchair production, how it works. And then this woman, I show everything in the factory, and then she spent like 3 or 4 days in Georgia. She went back to England, and then for some reason they stopped doing this project in Ethiopia. But maybe they can be interested because that one looks easy.
I know who to ask and I know how to find out quickly. I can follow up and see if motivation, if there is still, if that ever happened or if it's dead now, because a lot of things have gone by.
We tried to work with 2 different groups in Ethiopia to make chairs about 25 years ago. And yeah, it was, our hopes were very high. The hopes of the Ethiopians was very high, but the flakiness of the Westerners with the development money, with the foreign aid money, killed everything. It was impossible for them to stay on track long enough to start a wheelchair shop.
But I will ask motivation. I know who to ask about this. So
Okay. All right. You ask Christian, you say hello to him.
that wasn't what I was thinking of, but I know who to ask.
Okay. Fine, I'll be glad to. I'm just want to get the word out. I've already told about half a dozen other organizations that I have this inventory.
You talked to Shona in South Africa at all?
No, I have not talked to her, Shona. I've talked to other people.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I can ask her if she's interested or knows someone.
I mean, they've definitely got their abilities right now to make chairs down there.
Right,
So,
right.
you know
They
what
may
it's
not
like.
need it.
You got to ask and see what happens.
Right, exactly.
So Ken, just quickly, you said you started with $10,000 in.
Yeah.
This was in 1990. What was it?
1992.
And 1992. So that would be the equivalent of starting with 40,000 today, roughly. Is that about right, inflation wise? And
At least.
yeah, 40 or 50, say 50. But that's still for a shop like yours, that's still starting with very little. And
Too
so,
little. Too
yeah,
little.
you would start with more now if you could.
He's got a whole building, multiple floors, with stuff. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff now.
Well,
yeah, I put a lot of money into it too. When I started Rough Riders, I got a loan for 30,000. I should have got it. No, 20,000. I should have got a loan for at least 50,000 then, and that was what 15 years ago now.
For starting
Afterwards,
with the model.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I needed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was really under supported at that time.
Yeah.
And you made up with it just through hard work and by having some of those wonderful older mechanics who did jigs and fixtures and mandrel benders early on.
Dwight, of course, and
Dwight
my other
and
and of course Matt and Aaron. They were so helpful, and yeah, everybody. You all made it happen. It was, but I did put a lot of money into it myself, and it just I can't do it I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the economy is too wonky.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta go, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Fatuma, sorry, Fatuma, if you're
No,
still
she's
there.
gone. She left a while back.
Okay.
Almost time for breakfast.
And Telma, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto también.
Good. All right. Thank you, Ken.
Okay, see you later, everybody. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Hey.
Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of
Happy
July for you all.
You too.
Muchísimas
Hey.
gracias.